Hello, everyone. How are you all doing today? It is a beautiful day in January of 2025. Not as sure exactly. Maybe it's January 3rd or so of 2025. And I have more thoughts that are wheeling in my head. And I thought I'd bring them to you today. But I want to go over some housekeeping things now that people are tuning in, and I've got my podcast consistently going, and there's lots of information. I speak with you guys through many different avenues. Sometimes you guys are watching me. I have people that watch me through YouTube, which you can find this podcast as the video to see me on YouTube. And then I have it just recorded, shows up as a recording on YouTube under podcast. And then I'm on Buzzsprout, Apple, Spotify, all of that, X, everything. And so I'm getting lots of questions and thoughts and comments. The biggest comments that I'm loving are that, oh my God, my husbands are listening to you and he wants to listen to you. And that is so great because it's just showing that this information is universal. It transcends man or woman. We are in a time where the whole entire way that we were doing things is changing, and we are going back to the future. What does that mean? We are going back to a time before before our DNA was altered, and we're going back to the organic, simple, natural way of living. And many of us have no clue what that will mean, what that looks like, and we're busy holding on to the old world. And we are wondering why it's not working. We are wondering why we are upset. We're wondering why our jobs, our marriages, our lives, our homes, our cars, everything is falling apart and not working. So I'm going to tell you that today. And I want to talk to you about my shop that I have. It's another resource for you. Um, that I put my resources towards it to be here for this time. So I want you guys to take advantage of shoprawwithpeace.com, and everything in there I have scoured. And once the things change and shift a little bit, the store is going to massively expand, and it will have tons and tons and be of products and services, and it will be your headquarters for all of your authentic new earth products. But one of the products is my personal creation. It is my nanotech scrub, and I have it right here for those that are watching. I just putting it together myself, which has been a huge effort in getting packaging and everything. And this is not the final packaging, but I cannot get it packaged by a manufacturer because they will not manufacture it because it has borax as its foundational ingredient. And it's got borax, Epsom salt, frankincense oil, a little bit of rose geranium oil, DMSO, and then it's all combined in this beautiful organic almond oil. So this will take the nanotech out of your body. It will also replenish the boron, the salts that your body needs. And it will replace your shaving cream, your soap, and any moisturizer that you might use. So we have it back in stock, and it's very simple. I even have my labels were made by one of my members that she just sent it to me because she's like, Monica, you need labels. And this isn't even what I will use, but I'm doing this to show you. It's something that was brought on my heart. It's something that I do. And it was like, I can't not get it out until the world is ready and will accept it, right? So I've got to create it and just get it to you guys. So order yours today. It can be used for men and women. So order your nanotech scrub today and get started. Get started on detoxing and getting your DNA repaired, because right now we have the energies going and they are allowing you to have these changes. So we have the nanotech scrub in the shop. We have the shop, which has copper vessels. I've got this beautiful one. I'll show you. I've got lots of different copper vessels. But this one is the one I'm using. Fill it up with your Mountain Valley spring water and it will charge it up and get healthy. So let's go on to what I want to talk about today. Okay, I've got all these resources for you. Just wanted to go over those and just briefly say it. And then I'll say it again as people start waking up to realizing that I'm their resource to get through this, genuine resource. So, what is on my heart today and what I am seeing, and I'm talking to both men and women. So, my focus is always about the children and the children coming forward. So, I really focus on how I am as a mother, and I have always, even with my adult children, which are 28 and 25, I have always raised them with them being adults in mind and wanting them to be adults that would contribute to the world, would be good people, and make a difference. I didn't want to have a situation. So 20 years ago in the 90s, I was raising my kids more like, okay, just get through school, get everything, just do what they say so that you can make it through. Don't get caught up in their don't get caught up in their nonsense, whatever they say. You just have to get your papers done. I didn't care if they got straight A's. But I would say that both of my adult kids still did get ensnared into the world, and one more than another. But that's their soul's cry and what they have to go through. So one thing that I'm really bothered by, and I'm seeing this, and none of us are talking about it. We are basically being forced as parents to, as a mother or father, they've managed to silence the father's voice. The father doesn't have a voice, doesn't feel like they should have a voice or they can have a voice. And the mothers are too busy being unhappy and just trying to mitigate their unhappiness. So they don't want to rock the boat with their child. And this brings us to our daughters, our teenage daughters. Why am I seeing young girls that a lot of them are living with their mothers, their parents? Why am I seeing young girls getting on OnlyFans and making OnlyFans and making an extreme amount of money? Okay, like I saw this one little girl made like $50,000. I don't know if it was in one day or in 1 week, but that was a regular amount that she had been making, and her mom saw and was talking to her about this. Some of you guys might have saw this video. So the mom sees that she's making this much and she just laughs and she goes, "What? You're making this much money? Why am I paying your insurance? Why am I paying this? Why am I paying that?" "Yeah, mom, why are you paying that? Why are you paying that? Why are you condoning your daughter being on OnlyFans? Your daughter is a prostitute. Your daughter has been taught that her value and her worth is based on how much money she brings in. And the only value that she has is showing her body and being perverted with her body. That's the only value that she has. That's the message that women are told, that you need to look a certain way, be a certain way. And then we swung to the other side where everybody's like, it's okay to be overweight, it's okay to do this and just be a sloth. So we've got these two types of girls. We've got one side, we have more than two types, but two main types right now that are out of balance and are inverted. And the mothers are supporting both sides. And what are they? So we have the girls that have their body and their looks that they feel comfortable enough to exploit for money on OnlyFans. Then you have the ones that are into like anime and all of this and video games, and they're put on all of this medication. They're put on these psychotropics and they're taking all this medication. They're taking Adderall, which is meth. They're taking ecstasy, but they call it whatever. And if the doctors prescribe it, then it's okay. No, no, it's not. It's not okay. It's not okay. No child, no person, but no child certainly, and it tells you that on the black box of this medication, should be on these pills. Why are they on these pills? Why is the world feeling anxious? Why are young girls trading something of such extreme value for something of lower value, which is money? And you believe the lie, you've believed the lie. You've believed the lie that if you have money, no matter what you have to do for it, no matter what you do for it, if you have the money, if you have money, if you have the Louis Vuitton bags, if you have the perfumes and the clothes and the cars and the nails and the hair, that then you're going to feel whole. Then you're going to be accepted. You could go, look at me, look at me. Look at me. I make $50,000 a week. Oh, you do? Oh, how do you do that? Oh, I only sell my soul. It's no big deal. It's no big deal. All of these OnlyFans girls, that one girl that I saw on X that was making a big thing about having 100 men go through her in 24 hours, and she was wrecked afterwards. She was wrecked. But what did she do? What did she do? She went and set up a time to do it again for 1,000 men. 1,000 men. I mean, she's doing it. She's going to get something out of it. She's going to get money out of it. She's going to get fame out of it. That's the kind of fame you want, ladies, girls. That's the kind of attention that you want. And mothers, you're standing by while your daughters are doing these OnlyFans, even if you don't directly know because they're not telling you. But you're sitting here, Thanksgiving, Christmas time, sitting here knowing that your child is a prostitute, knowing that people are literally using her, and you don't say a word to her about it because it's her body, it's her choice. You should be supportive. You need to be supportive because the reality is if you dared said anything, you know that she won't talk to you anymore. But guess what? She's either not going to talk to you anymore or she's going to be freaking super glad that you said something, that you gave her an excuse to not do this. There is no way that a woman wants to be selling her energy. The divine feminine energy, everybody wants. Everybody wants. And let me tell you, $50,000 is cheap for that energy. Cheap. So you're letting all these men use you, and you think you have the upper hand. You think you have the upper hand. I'm noticing this, that young girls are trying to act like men used to act, where they're talking about their body count. What in the world? When I was young, it was not a thing where you bragged or you wanted to just let people use you. Okay. When I was young, any of that was taken from you or you unknowingly gave it because you didn't realize what was happening to you. But to sit here now and to make accounts and to do this, the debauchery that is going on is so disgusting and so depraved. And all we're doing is we're just walking around celebrating it. We're just walking around, just going on vacation, liking posts, It's like I waffle, I go back and forth, and that's why I want to do the podcast because I can just talk about what I want to talk about and what's going on. Because I want to do positivity and I want to keep people positive and keep people uplifted. But at the same time, we can't continue to not talk about what's going on right in our own homes, in our backyards. We're not holding anybody accountable. We're not calling anybody out because who are we? Who are you, Monica, to be calling anyone out? Hey, I'm not calling anybody out. I'm just letting you know that what you're doing, the way you're parenting, you're not parenting. You're not taking care. You're not loving your kids. You're not loving your daughter by accepting her OnlyFans or whatever else, whatever app she's on. And the way she's running her mouth and the stuff she's saying, that you either choose to ignore it or you condone it by laughing and being along with it, wanting to be cool and wanting her to like you. You know, I had to have that experience with my 28-year-old. She's 28 now, and I haven't seen her, and I only saw her for 2 days, and then before that I hadn't seen her for a couple years. So I haven't really seen or spent any quality time with my oldest, who's 28, for a number of years. But I went over there and visited her, even though I don't want to be traveling and all that kind of stuff. I went over and visited her, and I was going through all this, learning to set my boundaries, trying to figure out what was going on with me. And I set my boundaries that I was not going to be talking about the stuff she wants to talk about unless I wanted to talk about it. But I didn't. But long story short, she freaked out and she's not talking to me. And I knew in my soul that that was going to happen to me. So, how many mothers are doing that? How many parents are doing that? You know, we have all this freaking confusion going on. So, it's like, whatever, mom or dad, if you're responsible for a child right now, if you have a teenager right now, they're not okay. They're not okay. So, just turning a blind eye and thinking, oh, that'll never happen. Monica, you're over the top. You're ridiculous. It is going to happen. It is going to happen, whatever it is, to your child. Your child cannot be on OnlyFans and having her energy extracted from her, and her payment is cash that is not worth a damn thing. She's selling her soul for nothing, and she's left empty and hollow. And she can't come to you because you're sitting there feeling empty and hollow. Her dad's sitting there feeling empty and hollow. So everybody is feeling empty and hollow, doing what they're doing, running after money. Doing all these inappropriate things for money at the sake of your souls. I had people ask me, oh, well, Monica, because they're only thinking linear. I am speaking metaphysically. And I am saying that universal law states this. This isn't me stating it. It's not me just saying it just to ruffle your feathers and make you uncomfortable. I'm just alerting you. I'm just alerting you to this. This matrix that we were in, you guys are still running the matrix programming, but we're not in the matrix anymore. And that's why you're having problems. And the dark is still out in the world. Heavy, heavy, heavy. Okay. And then there's those of us you're seeing, these new teachers, these new whatever we are. We're a group of us that have been activated and are coming out to tell you, I don't make any money I don't make any money off of anything, you know, but I'm building a whole big, huge empire of healthy, beautiful, new way of living things. Because I was waiting around going, oh, why don't we have this? Why are they doing this? Why are they doing that? Then I realized, oh my God, there's an agenda. There's an agenda put on us. This is all done on purpose. They poisoned our food. They changed the food pyramid in the 70s and slowly started making us sick. This was all done systematically. The reason why I wasn't ravished by this, I was offered to get on drugs. I was offered at one point to get on drugs when I was in the midst of my drama in my life. But I went home, I filled the prescription. I wanted to know why the prescription was so difficult to fill. You know, it was a class 3 drug or whatever they call it, you know, class 1, I don't know. And I open up the insert that came with those pills and it would fill up the whole wall behind me in my office of side effects and all this. And I was like, what? There is no way I am taking this. There is no way. But I was at the point in my life where I was upset every single day. I was throwing up every day. I was really, really, really upset. So having those drugs being prescribed to me made me really look within and really find out what's going on inside of me that is causing me to be this upset that it would require these kind of drugs. And that's when I really started looking in my journey and what is going on. This whole idea of being a parent, a pair who rents is really what parent is. But being a mother, being a father, what is that? What are you supposed to be doing? What is your role for this soul? It's very serious. It's very amazing and profound if you've been given this gift to be a mother. And so you're given this gift to be a mother, but everybody just bitches about being a mother. The only thing that they talk positive about is their child winning a trophy, getting awards, being in sports, being in some kind of extracurricular activity, something outside of them. And they can tote their child around like a shiny penny. What happens when the sports are taken away? What happens when the trophies are taken away? What happens when the music stops? The music has stopped now. The music has stopped. The frequency of the planet has changed. So this isn't about beating you up and putting you down, which is how everyone tends to take it who gets on the defense when they hear me talk. Okay, I did this too. I went through all this too, and it was living unconsciously through my life and raised my children somewhat unconscious for me personally. But so I know what you're dealing with. I know what it's like to deal with this time is so confusing. It's so confusing. And you want to have some kind of ease about it. You want it to not feel so hard and arduous and difficult. You want to feel like you can go through this with flow. Well, the only way to go through this with flow is to surrender. You must surrender to it all. You must surrender to it all and know that the universe has your back whatever you identify as that, the divine, God, Yahweh, whatever, it's all what we're talking about. There is this connection that happens in your heart space. And that connection, once it is made, it changes you. And you have access to all the knowledge that you need to figure out how to maneuver this life that we are in right now. So you've got to stop being defensive, stop looking to be offended. We've got to start collaborating. Mothers need to be collaborating with other mothers, working together on information. We are not parenting in the way that we did before. We are not parenting in that manner anymore. How were we parenting before? How were we parenting before? Think about it for a minute. The way we parented, ladies, if you got pregnant and you immediately, once you're, at that point, you immediately started consuming, getting a crib, getting bedding, getting blankets, getting clothes, copious amounts of clothes, all things on the outside of you. And then you raise them till they're 5 years old, and then you push them out into this world. You go and put them out into an institution. But you feel good and you feel better about yourself because you're going along with this is what people do. The law says my kid has to be in school. Guess what? You don't have to have your kids registered in school till age 7. But you don't have to have your kid in school at all. But I'm just saying, for those of you that think that the age is age 7, but you ship your kids off to school every single day. Your husband is off at work every single day. You're off at work every single day or home, but you're not home as a running the home. Most of you aren't running the home. Okay, most of you aren't free to run the home, or you don't have the money to run the home. So you're just sitting around, you're not creating anything. Maybe you're on OnlyFans too. Who knows? But bottom line is, and not to repeat yesterday's podcast, but bottom line is everybody is going in different directions. They're not collaborating with each other. They're turning against one another. Like, how many people are going to be angry listening to this podcast and listening and they don't like my opinion? They don't like my opinion. They think that is dangerous because I think that mothers need to mother. Mothers need to get balanced. The world needs to get balanced. Your energies are out of balance. Your right brain and your left brain are out of balance. The old matrix taught us to be in our left brain, which is analytical, all this. And it's difficult. But your right brain is creative and it's in flow. It's creative and in flow. And that's what gives you all your ideas and all of your energies. All of your energies are all in there. And so you're not utilizing them. You're not utilizing them if you're not balanced. So I want you guys to actually utilize this information, and I want you to take it seriously and not be insulted by it, and realize that if you sit down and you tell your daughters what you really think, you tell your sons what you really think, husbands, Husbands, your wives are running amok. They're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're making ill decisions and they're running your family into the ground. And you don't know what to do about it. And you're disillusioned. And that's causing you to not be present for your kids. And you're definitely not present for your wife or partner, whatever. Everyone needs to stop thinking about making money and about the bills that are coming in. So, yeah, you got your credit card bills coming in, you've got your mortgage coming in or your rent, you have your car payment, you have your gas, you have your job, and you're going to tell me, and I know this because people tell me this in my coaching all week, all day. You're choosing the old world and you're asking me why it's not working and you want me to wave my magic wand. And I am waving my magic wand. I am waving it. And the people who grab on to the magic and utilize it in their life get to the other side and they see what I'm talking about. They see what I'm talking about. So, what would this look like? What would this look like? Because it's scaring people to death when we talk about the brass tacks. Imagine if you did not send your child to school on Monday, this Monday coming up, whenever you're listening to this. What if you did not send your child to school on Monday? What if you did not go to work on Monday? Just do Monday. Okay. Then do Tuesday. Then do Wednesday. But you want to make an ultimate decision. You want to make an ultimate decision on what direction you want to go into for 2025. So, what do we want to do in 2025? You will not be able to do and live the way you were living in 2024 and previous. You absolutely will not. So, let's talk to the people who maybe are similar to me and are making content and getting the word out about whatever they're feeling led to get the word about. Okay, a lot of people, a lot of things are coming up for review for all of us. What are we here for? What are we doing? Is what we're doing in service to others. So if you're a stay-at-home mom, you are in service to others. You have the most incredible position and you don't need to be working. And you need to be the manager of your life and the manager of your home and the manager of your family. And that's not controlling your family. That's not making sure that your children look just right or that you are taking your Ozempic and making sure that you're thin enough so that your husband's attracted to you so that he will stay off of pornography or stop having affairs. Okay. All of that mess, all of that gross, arduous mess, you've got to make a radical, radical, radical change in your life, in your environment. In order to have a different life, you have to have a different life. You have to change the frequency. What is around you right now? What is around you right now? Which is what you guys are complaining about, was created by the thoughts and feelings and actions that you have taken thus far. So you want to stop taking those thoughts, feelings, and actions in 2025 if you want to create something different. What is it that we're all trying to create? Everything gets defined by money, and it is so wrong. It is so wrong that everything is defined by money. And that's a lower vibration. And so you're going to continue to get lower vibration things happen in your life. And it's just going to keep on happening and happening and happening and happening and happening and happening because you're in denial. You're in denial and you need to see it to believe it. And so you're not believing it because you're not seeing it, because you can't see these energies that I'm talking about. Well, you can see that things are totally different. You can see that there's different creators coming out, and the creators that were on there, that are on there, you're starting to see, oh, they seem fake. They don't seem real. They seem superficial. I mean, all those spiritualists and some big famous ones that you guys listen to, we're finding out they're not who we thought they were. And they're not doing the work. They're not doing the work. Somebody who's doing the work, that's living in these higher frequencies, you can tell by looking at them. You can tell by looking in their eyes. You can tell by the way they interact. You can tell by how transparent they are. And it's okay to get on here as we're all trying to figure out. So I waited to get on and do a podcast or YouTube or wherever you want to say, just waited to get off social media. You know, I had this idea that I felt like I had something that would help people. But when I first started, it was more like me just wanting to tell people, you know, what I had learned, but I hadn't actually lived it, right? So it's like I had my big Kundalini Awakening in 2018 through the birth of my daughter. It awoken me to all of this spiritual knowledge that I had been blocked off from and kept in a religion from age, you know, birth until 40. And I wasn't knowing about all of this information. And so I got all unlocked in me, but I did not feel like I could come out and say anything about it. And I had imposter syndrome and all of that. But I was glad that I spent the 2 or 3 years really living the information, applying the information. Do you guys remember back when the book The Secret came out? And that is like a whole book full of spiritual bypassing. And that is what everybody wants to do. And everybody will like get coaching with me, basically just to ask, like, what spiritual bypassing do you have? Because I don't want to do the work. But I don't like feeling this way either, Monica. So spiritual bypassing is this whole manifestation thing, this whole thing that just, if you think it, it'll happen. And it's like you have this magic wand. And this is the deal, is that you must be of the frequency of what it is, that you're wanting, the life that you want, for that to come into your field. So like I'm seeing now, as I've risen my frequency and been okay with, because I started off on TikTok and I was doing all this stuff to get people to know who I was. Then I lost tons of accounts, banned accounts. You guys know how TikTok is. And I didn't really have people on my YouTube. I was like, I can't start my podcast. No one's going to listen. So I had to put forward all of this work on TikTok to get the algorithm out. But now things are different. Even though I've lost all my accounts, now everybody is looking for this information. They're looking for authentic people, people who can, people who can create the energy sequence that they want to be on, that's high vibe. And I'm telling you, when people speak with me, when they talk to me and I hear about what they're doing, and I have got a million ideas, a million and one ideas for you on how you change the frequency and the tone in your home. If you don't like me using the word frequency, it's like some people that are coming from that old way of thinking. It's like, I'm talking about the energy in your home, the way your home feels, the way you feel, your field around you. When you're in the presence of somebody, they feel something off of you. And so I have developed a frequency that affects change, and it activates you to change, and it makes you change. It is knowing that me saying something will activate somebody to go do something that will change their life forever. That is empowering. That is incredible. Knowing that I'm rearing my children. Well, I have my one child now. I have my 6-year-old. And I'm raising her totally different. And my husband's really stepped into the role of just like the daily, things of taking care of her, getting her food and that kind of thing, because I'm doing this and I am really in the spirit world. I'm really internally inside of myself, and I am here to be that way. And then I am tasked with sharing it with others. It's like right now I'm recording this, but I would be thinking this. I would be thinking this whether I recorded it and shared it with you. So it's like, it's not perfect. It's not, whatever, cool, whatever it is, people who are getting their podcasts out there. But I am doing what I authentically want to do, need to do, and am supposed to do. And that this energy is going to go out there and it is going to change the world. And Natalie, my beautiful 6-year-old, she is seeing me do that. And she goes and she acts like she's having her own podcast and she's creating. I've got her art gallery wall up here with all of her rainbow art that she's making. And she brings it into my office and she's coming up with ideas. Right now, as we speak, she is at a winter survival camp that is outside because she goes to a little forest school twice a week, and they're on break right now. But during the break, they're having a 1-month survival camp, and she is doing it. That's her second one. And she loves it. She loves it. She's out there with her glittery cowboy boots and she is loving being out in nature and connecting with nature. And she is the most loving, sweet child that I have ever had the privilege to be in her essence. And I am doing everything I can as a mother to keep my vibration up and to really watch her. She's showing me what to do. And I'm like, Derek, let's just watch her. That's what we do. She doesn't do what she doesn't want to do. And you guys know that have son children. Put in the comments if you have a son child, under like age 10. So any child that's under the age of 10, under the age of 7, that's been born. They have abilities beyond anything because they were born with their DNA intact. And so they don't have all these issues and they don't respond to your violence, like, you know, yelling at them, spanking them, putting them in timeout. All of that, none of that works. None of that works. And it shouldn't work because that is, you don't treat somebody like that. Would you want to be put in a corner? Would you want to be put in a corner because you said something? Let's say you said something that you weren't supposed to say, because somebody decided that you weren't supposed to say it, when you said it, how you said it. So they're like, you're going in the corner. And they put you in the corner. That is humiliating. That is humiliating. So are we raising our kids? Are we humiliating our children? Are we treating our children the way we want to be treated? If not, why not? Do we value our children? Do we realize that they are the future? Do we realize that this is an incredible, incredible responsibility and it is sacred? The mothers are coming out. The divine feminines are coming out. There is a team of us that are all around the world that are standing tall right now. And we're all starting to connect, even if it's telepathically at this point, but we're rising up. And then I'm making a call to all of you women that are listening. You're listening here at this point at 51 minutes to it's time. It's time, women, to take your families back, take your marriages back, take your life back. Figure out who you are. Stop numbing yourself. Women, I know this is happening. You women are numbing yourself with wine. And it's supposed to be cute and all. Well, it's not. It's not cute. And it's not cute that your daughters are becoming prostitutes because they don't know another way, because their mothers are not being examples on how to lead their lives, because we weren't taught. So that's what my information is going to do. My podcast is all about the different aspects of living in this new quantum world. And it's going to progress more and more, and we'll get out of talking about the old world as we're progressing into it. Talking today about, our children being on OnlyFans, and all of that kind of stuff, and what we're doing as mothers, as fathers, is hard to hear. And you guys might feel angry. I don't know. If you feel angry, good. At least you're feeling something. Get angry with me. Let me know. Let me know that you don't like hearing this, but let me know that you need to hear this. Go get your kids. Go get your wife. Go get your husband. Make that decision that you're not going to be part of this anymore. There is no more planning. You don't need to prep this. You don't need to, you know what? It makes me sick. Everyone's like, oh, all the patriots, the truthers, or whoever supposedly are supposed to care. What do they tell you to do? They tell you to make sure you have your food supplies. Make sure you have gold and silver. No, what you need to make sure is that you've got your heart right and that you are together with your family, and you're not separating your family, and you're not chasing after money, but you're chasing after the divine. You're chasing after God. You're chasing after your soul. Your higher self is calling out to you. If you're listening to this, this is a message for you. You're not listening to this by accident. There are no coincidences. So everybody, please love your children, hug your children. Don't fight with them. Don't argue with them. Don't force them to do homework, do rot things, memorization things. Okay. Just let it all go. Have those hard conversations with your kids. If you need to pull, if you're wondering, well, what do I do? How do I pull my kids if they've got OnlyFans or whatever, even the video games? Video games are the same thing. Okay. What you do, and you guys aren't going to do it, but what you do is you cancel their smartphones, you cancel their iPhones, you cancel the subscription. They don't need it. You pack up your house and you move to the country where you can't get DoorDash. You make radical, radical, radical changes in the way you're living. And yeah, are people going to cry? People going to fuss? Yes. Yes, they will. But you're going to get through it if you stick with it together and know, okay, you guys, this is going to be difficult, but we're going to do this. And when you get to the other side after you've been through all that, I'm telling you, that feeling far surpasses any feelings that you have right now. You guys don't even have any good feelings. You're just waking up to sit here and get money to pay for something that you don't even want, that's probably broken. So just stop. Stop it all. Come home. Everybody look at each other and say, okay, you guys, this isn't working. We got to figure this out. And wrap your hands around each other, your arms around each other, and tell each other that you love each other. And you guys, a abundant financial system is coming into place to replace everything, okay? So does that help you make these changes? Does that help you make these changes? It should. It should. That's the only reason why I talk about the money piece of it, is to try to relieve your mind, because you're sitting here saying, well, Monica, I still got to go to school. My kids have to go to school. I have to go to work. How will I pay my taxes? How will I pay for this? How will I pay for that? You're going to be losing your jobs anyway. So majority of people watching this, if you're in a job, your job's going to go away. It's not going to be existing anyway. So you might as well start thinking about what you want to do. Okay, everybody, check out my podcast, and I would love it, and love, love, love it if you could download the podcast and then share it with anyone you think it would help. And I'm kind of putting my voice out there for those of you that maybe would like a little help in talking to your family and have them hear this, because my voice, what I'm saying is activating the people that need to be activated, whether they want to be activated or not. And so I would love it if you did that, if you downloaded the podcast, if you liked the podcast, if you commented, if you go to Spotify, Apple, and leave me a review. That would be incredible. You could think about this if you want. So if you do not have a humanitarian project, and this is kind of like my group at therealityshifters.com, please join if you would love to have a community of people and you would love to be more in touch with me and all the incredible things I'm going to be doing. Please join there. I want to see my people over there, and I want to say hi to you. So this is the only podcast where you can join a group, a community, and you can get to know me. You can get to know the podcaster, and you will get to travel with me. You will maybe work for me. You never know. So I've got lots and lots of fun things. So I'd love for you to connect with me, share with me, and know that I am somebody that is here for you, no matter